Good to see you, Jonathan.
Good to see you.
What's your take on this move? Surprised by it? What should we read into it?
It is a hopeful development, and we don't want to get ahead of our skis, of course. The issues that Phil pointed out that the Writers Guild still has with the last offer the studio's made are difficult issues. The AI issue is tough. The residuals issue, the sharing in revenue and for successful shows is tough. And the minimum staffing levels are seen by the Writers Guild as existential and as essential to the future of the profession. So it's a very difficult set of issues, but I hope this is the beginning of some movement.
And the hope is that this would bleed over into SAG-AFTRA, too, for WGA agreeing to talk about talking again. Amanda Salas, as you saw there, she had an exclusive interview with Fran Drescher, the president of SAG. But what she also told Amanda today, they're prepared to be on strike for a while. Take a listen.
Our resolve is very strong, and we've already budgeted for the next 6 months. Should it take that long to have some kind of an agreement forged?
What do you make of that?
Well, I think she's speaking truth to power. This is a union, both of these are unions that have a lot of solidarity. They really are not going to back down, and it's a very interesting struggle, because when you list the issues, if you step back, this is a struggle between the people that have the money and the people that do the work. And to make a dent in that, if they manage to get what they feel that they need, the writers and the actors, that's something that they'll be heard around the country and around the world.
So last week we talked about these side deals, right? These smaller studios like an A24, basically saying to SAG-AFTRA, we will meet everything that you want.
Right.
And SAG-AFTRA says, great, if you meet everything we want, we'll work. Why strike?
That's right.
And now some backlash to that?
Well, there was some backlash to that. These interim agreements, as they're called, are things that some people felt frustrated. They didn't understand the purpose of them. Why is the union granting these at all? Why are some people working during a strike? And there really are two reasons. One is that the union wanted to demonstrate that the terms and conditions are achievable and workable. If A24 can sign to that, if Lionsgate, big company but not one of the negotiating AMPTP companies, can sign to this agreement, then why can't the rest of you guys who are holding out? And then some pictures, some movies, some series that have a connection with AMPTP were signed nonetheless. And the reason for that is they were produced, being shot overseas. And the Screen Actors Guild said that they have to comply with overseas labor law as well as U.S. labor law, and that inhibited their ability to strike against those shows. So rather than get into a transnational fight, why not simply sign them to an interim agreement? Which is what they've done.
Actress Viola Davis was one of those who came out this week and said she didn't like the
didn't feel comfortable with it. That's right.
Exactly. All right, so we're heading into festival season. We know that actors cannot promote their work, but publicists, they're having a problem with that, and they want SAG to rethink.
Well, they're pushing SAG to rethink, pardon me, and I don't think that they will. I think that they've thought about it, and they made a very considered decision that this is part of the leverage they have in dealing with the studios. And yeah, publicists are caught in the middle. The independent publicists on some of these films, for example, run smallish businesses, and, you know, like many businesses, are affected by the strike. But this is an important season for promotion, both of big movies and particularly independent films. There's a trifecta of film festivals, Toronto, Telluride, and Venice, that are very much launching pads for publicity campaigns for movies.
It's hard to be a publicist when nobody's allowed to do publicity.
It's hard to be a publicist
So
when you can't.
You'd understand why that business would want this thing to be over. Jonathan Handel, thanks for your perspective on all this. Of course, you can read his work at Puck News. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you both.